What is going on, good people? Welcome into the Delmarva Sports Insider, the only live and local show dedicated to giving you all local sports all the time. I'm Sports Director Trayvon Miles.
Hey, we've got a lot of sports to get to.
Exactly right. Welcome on in, everyone. Get cozy because for the next 30 minutes or so, we are your guys going over all things Delmarva sports.
That's right. I'll tell you who is cozy right now, Trey, and that's the Shorebirds sitting in first place in their division. They've had a good run to start this season so far.
That's exactly right. They hosted Salem in a doubleheader earlier today. If we could get straight to that video. The Red Sox actually dominated this one from the start. DH Joe Davis going to send a rocket out to the wall. That is a double, and that's going to bring home two from second and third. Well, the next batter up is Nick Decker, and he's going to slap one into center, and he's going to switch places with Davis. 3 runs in the top of the first for the Sox. Not a good start for the Shorebirds, and they weren't done. Joey Davis again, top of the second. That one's going all the way to the warning track. 3rd RBI of the game already. Next batter is Decker, and this time he's getting all of it, going yard, all the way to the Mount Air Farm sign to put 3 more on the board for Salem. The one bright spot for Delmarva, T.T. Bowens. He's going to get a hold of this one, and that is gone. Bowens gets his 8th homer of the season, but it's not enough. Delmarva falls to Salem 9-3 in Game 1 of the doubleheader.
All right, let's check out the nightcap now. There's Sherman losing in the fan race once again. But hey, that's not the only losing the Birds would be doing tonight. Throw to second. That ball's into center field. And Sidan Rafalea is on his way to third. And watch as he bolts for home, and he beats the throw at home for the game's first run. You cannot do that if you are a professional baseball team. The dude scored from first base on a stolen base attempt. What is going on out there? Jump ahead to the 4th. Sox up 3, looking for more. There's Gilberto Jimenez with a line drive to the wall. That scores 2 right before a rain and lightning delay would cause an hour-long stop in play. The Red Sox held on to take this one after the delay to sweep tonight's doubleheader.
Yeah, look, I saw a tweet about a week ago that said Delmarva was the Orioles' first system team to reach 30 wins. And I just thought, wow, despite what we saw tonight, the job this franchise has done over the last 2 seasons is flat out remarkable. Now, of course, a lot of credit, Brandon, goes to Mike Elias and the staff up in Baltimore for making some phenomenal picks. But manager Dave Anderson and the Shorebirds staff deserves a lot of credit as well. In 2019, they had their best record in franchise history. This year, they are in first and hopefully, fingers crossed, on their way to another playoff appearance.
Yeah, the thing with predicting minor league teams and whether they can make the playoffs or not is the amount of player movement that we see, especially in the lower minors. We've already seen the studs leave the nest. Jordan Westberg, Gunnar Henderson, they're both in Aberdeen now, and the Birds' second-round pick, Hudson Haskin, he's probably moving up soon too. He's having a pretty good season. But that's what you want to see if you're an Orioles fan. Now, as for Shorebirds fans, they still have plenty of talent to watch. They could get a few weeks of number 2 overall pick Heston Kjerstad later this season. He's currently on IL, but they're still in first place. And one thing they've done this year is pitch a 3.12 ERA for the team as a whole coming into tonight. That's the tops in the entire league. They're also the top scoring team in the Low A East. But that should change with all these bats moving up. I say they do make the playoffs, but then after that, we'll see who's here when it comes playoff time.
Yeah, that is a very, very good point. None of those guys might be here when it comes time to the playoffs. And as bad as the Orioles have been playing, honestly, I could see them just moving kids up through the minor leagues. I hope that's not the case, though. All right, switching gears to college news, we found out just over a week ago. The NCAA shocked everyone when they reversed course on their stance of name, image, and likeness compensation among their student athletes.
Yeah, and since the ruling was made, we've seen athletes all over the nation jumping at the chance to earn some extra funds. One local product has already gotten to work, and Trey caught up with Jamion Franklin late last week, and here's what he had to say.
The NCAA sent shockwaves around the sports world last Wednesday when they announced that beginning on July 1st, all NCAA student athletes would be able to profit off of their name, image, and likeness. For current college athletes like Eastern Shore native Jamion Franklin, the news was much overdue.
My first thoughts were like, this is surreal, but like it's been a long time coming. I've always felt like where I was hungry, couldn't get anything, sending my dad a text, asking my aunt for some help, for a meal, that we weren't getting what we were putting in, we weren't getting out.
Intercollegiate athletes all over the United States jumped on the opportunity as soon as the rule became official.
26 minutes after we were able to profit, Derek King and those guys in Miami got themselves a pretty big deal. The first thing I did was just talk to some guys. This is new water for everybody, so I communicated with my compliance office here at Duke and my coaching staff and other people, just make sure that I'm following the rules and doing everything the right way.
Shortly after, Franklin began reaching out to companies. And just a few days in, he already has a handful of partnerships.
I got a few sponsorships so far, small ones, and, I'm grateful for them. I definitely would like to get some more local ones and, just work at it. Big ones will come, but I'm just grateful to be able to make a little bit of extra cash.
Awesome stuff right there. Now, Brandon, I'm so happy the NCAA did the right thing. Now, talking to some players, only a few things seem to be off limits, like sports betting companies and companies that sell alcohol. So it's a really wide open playing field for all of these student athletes to earn some extra funds while donning that name on the front of the jersey every day.
Yeah, Trey, they did the right thing, but they needed the Supreme Court to rule 9-0 against them in order to actually do the right thing. This is something that athletes have been fighting for decades. Reminds me of the reserve clause in baseball, and it took Major League players 100 years to break free of that as well. This is a game-changing decision. I'm not sure how much this will affect athletes in the lower divisions like Salisbury athletes, but it's the fact that they can be compensated off of their name, image, and likeness. And isn't that the American thing? I mean, you go out there, you perform a service, you should be compensated in some sort of way. I understand it's an amateur sport, but they're going to school for a scholarship. They should be able to at least get some sort of compensation, especially if companies want to sign them to endorsement deals or something.
Yeah, I think the wide-ranging part of this is they're not profiting off of anything but themselves. So let them profit off of themselves. So
absolutely.
I think that was common sense.
All right, let's move on to a big story for Shore basketball. Manny Camper was a two-time Bayside North Player of the Year for Kent County, and now his sights are set on the highest level of competition in the world.
Yeah, Camper's receiving attention from the NBA and hoping to hear his name called later this month. Here's this week's Insider Interview.
Just a hard hat guy, a guy that's going to go out there and, do, things that some guys don't want to do on the offensive and defensive end. I feel like, I'm very versatile, being able to play multiple positions and guard multiple positions. And, I'm just, at the guard spot, I'm a great rebounder. The game is, a positionless game now. You have 6'5" centers and 6'10" point guards. So, the game is so positionless nowadays. So I'm just using that to my advantage, as long with my athleticism and, that's paying dividends. Actually, last year the process was kind of slow because, that was right in the middle of COVID. So, I wasn't able to go, work out for teams. I was able to, get in contact through phone calls some, but, the process was very different. I think it's more open this year, and I'm able to, learn and, experience more of the process this year than last year. Just had a workout with the Memphis Grizzlies. That went very well, actually. I got some good feedback from, some of their coaches and the GMs. And, reached out to my agent. I have about 4 or 5 more teams that contacted. So, he's putting in play those, dates now. And in the next few weeks, I should be on the road.
Talk about your time on the Shore and how that helped shape you and lay the foundation for your basketball career.
Obviously, the Shore is small. So, guys, from the Shore like us and myself, we have to put in a lot of extra work that, some guys don't have to. And I think, that just shaped me into the person I am today with my discipline and, my just drives, to push through adversity, no matter, how hard the circumstances may be. So, my hometown, the love that they've shown, through the ups and downs, surgeries in high school, injuries, not being able to play, in the regionals and things like that. But, they stayed with me through the whole, process. They continue to support and, they're a huge reason why I'm, where I'm at today.
look at as role models that really helped with influencing your career to this point?
I would say a big role model for me has been my mom. Just, the sacrifices that she made for me, just seeing all that, her hard work, and her dedication to me, allowing me to get the things that I have today. Sure, it's hard, to get exposure. So, after all my injuries and things like that, I had no offers going into my senior year. Finishing my junior year. So she had to, go to work. I was able to try out for Team Mello in Baltimore, and I was able to make that team. She had to, travel, from work, come pick me up, and we had to go all the way to Baltimore 3 to 4 times a week for practices and tournaments, my last year.
Amazing story right there. Camper says he'll continue to work and wait for calls from his agent.
Yeah, he said the Grizzlies loved his size and athleticism, told him that they want to see him work on that jumper. So we'll see what happens with this, Trey. This is an exciting story right here to tell. Manny left the Shore 4 years ago. Now he's an NBA prospect. That's amazing to me that he didn't even have any offers on the table prior to his senior year in high school. That's crazy to me. But last time we saw him in the Bayside, he was a nightmare to guard, averaging 28 points and 13 boards in his senior campaign. So he showed colleges what he could do. And two things that will work in his favor is his versatility and his character. He's a high character guy. I think that those will shine through and will open more doors for him. So it's going to be fun to see where his career heads next.
Yeah, look, he's a phenomenal talent. He's one of the best players I've seen in my time here at 47 ABC. One thing a lot of people strive to do, but they can't, is he constantly finds a way to improve his game. So in high school, he was an all-around, do-it-all type of player. College, he got out to the three-point line some more, and ultimately he became the best, if not one of the best, rebounding guards in the country. And that's why he's getting the recognition he deserves right now, is because he is still improving, probably as we speak right now, to this very second. Yeah,
and that's right. And the NBA draft is July 29th, so we'll see if we hear his name called.
Exactly right. All right, that'll do it for the A block. We're taking a quick commercial break, but when we come back, how about this? We've got a Delmarva alum who's endured a remarkable journey to stand where he is today. That and much more when the Delmarva Sports Insider returns.
I'm Brian Femi, head coach, St. Michael's High School. You're watching Delmarva Sports Insider.